I remember I wanted to commit suicide. I locked myself in the room, right? I wrote a note, told everybody, I'm leaving you, have a peaceful life, right? I, when I went and took whatever I
Then you remember, continue.
then I remember one time we had to kill a bird with a stone. That's
Like
what we call
nyonde.
Nyonde.
Yeah.
So yeah, we dropped, we killed it, and then we said, you know what, we're going to eat this. Okay, so we went, we boiled the water. We're not going to eat this. And then I think the spirit came and said, no, don't do that. There's still hope. Please don't eat this.
But you already killed
Yes.
the bird.
One, I felt pain of killing that bird.
Oh.
Right? Yeah, so seeing my mom, being beaten and all that, I felt pain to raise a hand on anything, because I knew if I do that, the
You're
bird will
hurting
something.
them.
It will either cry or it will feel
Oh,
bad.
yeah.
But anyway, we had to do it because we had no choice.
Yeah.
But eventually, we did not have a taste of that.
Wow. So high school, how was it?
High school was also tough, but at least now the mind was growing. So I was able now to handle even tougher challenges.
But you still had like anger issues inside
Yes,
of you?
I had anger issues. I was very angry at everybody. I had very few friends.
Brought you problems in school?
Took my problems in school.
Wow.
Yeah, carried it all through in my heart.
Ever
Never shared
punched
with any
anyone?
teacher. In fact, there was a time I was intimidated by one of the students, but I didn't even have to hit him. Why? Because as I said earlier, I felt, I said if I do this, he will feel pain. He will feel discouraged. I didn't want to carry that in my life, but I was always quiet. My heart was really, really paining.
You were bleeding inside.
I was bleeding inside.
Now let me ask you.
Yeah.
Wow. This is heavy. This is heavy. So all this time, primary school, high school, when we began, you were like, you really, really love your parents, you love your father.
Yes.
And at what point did you sit down and talk to yourself and you're like, whatever happened, happened. Either way, these are my parents. I still love my dad, because you can't tell me that you are going through all this and you're like, Dad, I still love you. Dad,
Yeah.
I still love you.
Yeah.
So at what point did you break that? Like, you did what you did, Dad, but... And did you have a discussion?
One, my mom did a very good job. She always taught us to love our father.
Okay.
Every evening we would have a fellowship together with her. We would read the Bible and pray. And after she finished praying, she would end up by saying, love your dad, respect him. No matter who he is, you
Wow.
have to still love him.
Wow.
And you have to respect him.
Wow.
Then now after high school, in 2016, I met a man called Pastor Mangi.
Okay.
He passed on in 2017. That was very unfortunate to me, because we had to spend very short time with him. But during that short period, he became a father to me. Every time I had an issue I want to share, especially man issues, I will approach him and tell him, this is how I feel. I want you to help me. He now played the role of I didn't even tell him that my dad is this and that. But
Okay.
now I started seeing a father figure.
The love, the warmth.
The love, the warmth. I would call him, he would pick up. He was never busy for me.
Wow.
But my dad was always busy for me. Rarely did we even spend Christmas together. And one time it was a painful experience. I remember where he was working, they were given Christmas vouchers.
Okay.
And these Christmas vouchers were worth 15,000. Those days it was a lot of money. And another 15,000 for buying food and a voucher for traveling. So what he will do, he will give us around 5,000, and then the rest he will spend to whoever he wanted to spend with. So that was really, really painful. You know, a father buying for you gifts and is not there to share the gifts together does not really make much
There's
sense.
no big impact.
There's no big impact. Yeah, so I really appreciate my pastor, Pastor Mwangi, the late. He really played a big role in my life, and I will never forget what he has done. Even still today, I still see him in my mind. I still remember the words he used to say, and they're changing my life every now and then. Yeah.
Wow. Now, I want us to pivot into where your life just decided to like take a spin, and now you're like you've cleared high school, and now you're like, no, this is the path I need to follow. Let's get to that path up until where we are right now, where you're now you've become an author.
Yeah.
You're teaching music.
Yes.
Yeah. Take us through that part.
One, I used to love reading books, and I've made it a habit even today. I read at least 2 books a month.
Okay.
It's not easy, but I really have to challenge myself because I want to inspire a lot of people. And the reason why I was able to get out from that moment of pain, at least one, as I said, Pastor Mwangi really played a big role in my life, right? He taught me things that my father never used to teach me. And one of the things that my father never used to teach me was motivation. He always told me, you are great. And he told me, in 5 years, in 10 years, I see you becoming a great person. So those words started coming into my mind and withdrawing the negative, thoughts and negative words that
So
were
you
put
wake
in me.
up. You wake up in the morning and you're like, I am a great person.
I am a great
I am
person.
destined for greatness.
Exactly. So he was very careful. I think he mastered the art of words. And those words, you are blessed, you are not weak, you're not a failure. It doesn't matter where you have come from. Those words came into my mind and really brought light. And that is the moment I started. While I was reading, there's this book I read, Romeo and Juliet, and it's a novel, right? And that book really inspired me to write a book. So I started writing, and then I presented that copy to my elder brother, and he was like, no, what is this? So you see, and as I've noticed, I'm not even talking much about my brothers because we never spend time together encouraging each other. Okay, because my elder brother was the one who used to discourage us all the time. Just, I think he took that from daddy. So later on, I discovered, let me try out something. Let me see if I can write. And kumbe, that was the beginning of greatness. Yeah.
Okay. So then, did you start music before starting?
Yeah.
I mean, writing. What came first?
What came first was music.
Okay.
My dad paid for me some classes when I was in class 7. And the reason why he did that, he came back home to reconcile with my mom.
Did?
Yes.
Okay.
After it was very nasty. So he came back home now to reconcile. So he was very romantic. He would buy stuff. He would buy food. He would take us out. He would ask us where you want to go, what you want to do.
Okay.
such like thing.
That's good.
Then luckily we had a neighbor, okay, because we had moved from where we had stayed with my mom and went to live and rent a house. Now we could no longer live in that state.
Yeah.
So in that apartment, there was a gentleman, Kim, who used to play the piano at 12 midnight every day. So while we were sleeping, we'd hear music. And I loved the way he played. The following day, I went, knocked at his door, and told him, Kim, I love the way you play, and I want to register. How much will you charge? Kim saw me and said, I normally charge 1,500, but for you, I'll charge 1,000. Because you've come, you look passionate, you're well behaved. I'm going to give you that opportunity. So I went to my dad and I told him I want to do music. He was like, oh, okay, fine, yeah, I'll pay. So
Oh, that time he's still, he's just come back.
Yes.
And he's good.
And he's so good
So-
and all that. He didn't stay for too long. Kim was very, very, very harsh sometimes, especially when you're not getting things faster. He will really hit the table. So that, and you see, whenever I had something banging, some fear would come into my mind because I had that a lot in the house. So when he did that, I said, no, I don't want to come back here.
Oh, yes. It's
don't-
taking you back. It's taking you back to where you came from.
Exactly.
Oh, okay.
So Kim had printed a booklet for me for free.
Okay.
He would have charged me, but he said, I'll print it for you for free. So that book he printed, the following day, I went and put the book under the door and wrote him a letter. Kim, I'm done with your services. That was the craziest thing I did.
Wow.
So I went and told my dad.
Remember, you
a
still
bit.
had anger issues.
I had
Remember?
anger, yes, I had those anger issues.
Yeah.
And those anger issues obviously were planted. I did not create them. they were
Yes,
just
yes,
planted.
yes.
So Kim, I told him we're done. Kim became very angry and said, okay, fine. If that's what you've decided, then it's okay.
It's fine.
Yes.
Okay. Now, you left Kim's school,
I left Kim's
Kim's
school
school.
temporarily.
but as far as I know,
Yes.
you're so deep into music.
Yes.
So, how did you get back to music?
I got back to music. One, I went back to Kim again.
Oh, and apologize.
And apologized. My mom told me that's not how we behave.
Okay.
Yeah,
We don't do
need
that
to have-
here.
We don't do here. That here. Yeah, we need to have courtesy. I went back to him,
Yeah.
and he reintroduced me back to music.
Okay.
We had a journey with him for almost 2 years, so he developed the passion in me. Now, unfortunately, Kim moved out
Okay.
and went outside the country.
Oh.
So after that, now my dad also was temporarily romantic. So everything, now when we moved back home, because he came and persuaded us to go back home, hell broke loose again.
Sorry.
Right? So now there's no opportunity for me to go back and do music.
Sasa amekuwa less romantic.
Mtemekwa.
I'm using your words. You're funny.
Exactly. So now after high school, I again developed the passion.
Okay.
I went and involved myself with other people who were doing music. And I remember one of my friend, Mozart. Yeah, he really did a good job. He used to give me exams.
Oh.
Yeah, for music. He taught me. I used to go to his house. Now he became the Kim that left.
Okay.
Yeah, and him luckily was patient with me, despite my inconsistencies at some point. But he gave me those lessons for free, and told me I'm going to mentor you. So Mozart became another father because I never had a father who mentored me. Yeah, so that's how now I started the journey. Then afterwards, he referred me to a school, and when I went there, the headmistress didn't even ask for my credential. What I did, I made sure I dressed to my best. Spot on.
Very
In
important.
a very sharp suit. I was so clean. The shoes were not, I was so clean. So the headmistress just looked at me and said, I like that guy.
Wow.
That's what he
It's
told
the
me.
grace. We call it the grace of God.
the
Yeah.
grace of God. So I learned while in the job. And that's how now, up to date, I'm still teaching music. Yeah.
Tell them you teach music.
I
Tell
teach
them
music.
the lessons you offer.
One, I do music as part-time. That's what I do. And I do private lessons at people's homes. If you invite me to your home, you have a child and wants to learn music, especially piano and guitar or even violin or drum set, I will teach you. At that fee we'll discuss.
Yeah. It's private. It's private.
private.
Let me just take you back, Kidogo. Did you ever sit down with your dad, now at this age,
Yeah.
and reconcile? Like, told him, Dad, you did this, or did he ever come to you and apologize?
One, I don't know if it is with men, all men, but men have this kind of thing called ego. They don't like to admit that they're wrong. Maybe it's a human nature.
Okay.
I'm not really sure, but I saw that in my dad. It was very hard for him to come and say, Manuel, I'm sorry for what I did those days. Sorry I never had time with you, and so on. So how do people prove that they have apologized through their actions? Here I am now. I have a spouse. We have children. So he's obviously known as grandpa.
Yeah.
So I thought now, these children, he will make him come back to himself and say, because I never had a chance with my own son, I will now have time with my own grandchildren.
Yeah.
My goodness, I never saw that. When my children, when my firstborn child was born, he was supportive. In fact, he gave me his car to take to take my spouse to the hospital to deliver, and he told me, you can return the car anytime. Yeah, and you finish what you're doing, then you'll just return the car. And he even came the following day after she had delivered, and he even supported. He bought so many gifts and so on.
You know, that is his way of saying sorry.
That was his way of saying sorry. Unfortunately, my children, and now I have two, they're always asking, Akwapi Babu, because they saw him once or twice. Akwapi Babu, that's the toughest question they asked me.
What do you say?
And I have no answer for them. I just
look at them. Okay, you lie.
And I tell them, Babu will come.
Okay.
And I tell him the words my mom used to tell us, Daddy loves. So I tell him, Babu
loves. Oh.
Na atakuja tu. Daddy tunataka kwenda kuona Babu. So even my mom to date still asks my dad, when will you ever have time with your own people? Because you spend more time with other people than you spend with the ones that you should love the most.
Okay.
So
do you ever call him?
I anytime I try to pick the phone and call him, my hands get weak.
Emmanuel, have you healed, or are you healing, or what's really happening?
Let me tell you, I've really tried to heal.
Okay.
As a matter of fact,
It's
right
traumatizing
now,
still.
It's very traumatizing. And I thank God for this opportunity, because I'm able to now to let go. I've been discussing this with my spouse all the time, telling him about his history of where I've come from. And she really encourages me, though I still feel I need to be told that by my dad, I love you, my son. Right? I'm still here for you.
What about your uncles, your aunties? Do you have any
No,
from your dad's side?
Okay. Something that I did not mention before. I have uncles from my dad's side, but we have never had the opportunity to be together.
You don't relate at
We
all.
don't relate at all. Yeah.
It
Every time
happens.
I say I want to, when I was small, I tell my mom I want to go and see Uncle right in Kisii. Tells me, no, don't go there. Yeah. Ukienda huko utakuwa kitoweo. So I was given very bad
Negative.
pictures.
Yes.
So I became afraid. I never want to contact them because I was told, now if you do this, they will do this to you.
Okay.
Right? So even going to Kisii, I've never had a relationship with my own relatives from my dad's side.
Okay.
So those are some of the things and at this age, I really want to have family. I want to have relatives. The things I want to do, which are holding me back. Right? And that really, really makes me feel bad. Right? And especially you see other children are having good times with their especially with their dad. Yes, I was with my mom all those time. But any time I'm with my dad, I feel that protection. Right? And I felt like I've never been protected. Though my mom was always praying for us, being with us, but I still needed that protection
Okay.
from my dad.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Do you sometimes feel like you need someone to really talk to, like in depth?
Actually, that is what I was thinking the other day. Sometimes I feel like I would really love to talk to a counselor or a psychiatrist to help me now go through that journey
Okay.
on another level,
Okay.
so that I can
They're
now have
watching.
the confidence
Yeah.
to go and tell my dad
What
know
you feel.
This is what I feel, because I've never told him what I feel. Every time we meet, I fake.
Oh.
I'm like, it's okay.
You
But
paste
I'm
on a
not
plastic smile.
a plastic smile, because every time I see him, I see that intimidating feeling.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. People are watching, and I pray to God that someone comes out and walk you through that journey, because it's difficult.
Yes.
It's really I can feel it,
Yes.
but I can't really fit inside your shoes.
Sure.
So we are from that part.
Yes.
Let me sip this. Anyway, now take us through your
Yes.
your book. Tell us what it is about, what inspired you, and where we are with it as of now.
Yes. One, the book is currently being published as we speak by Kenya Institute of Curriculum Development, and some of the contents in that book, I'll not really want to share most of it
Yeah,
until
because
it's
it's not
really
yet
released.
out.
Until it's out.
Yeah.
But one thing I wrote from that book is that whenever we hear the hand of God coming upon you, I used to think of a physical hand. But as I was doing my research, I discovered that the hand of God actually means God is putting management principles on you. So if you say, I want God's hand in my life, you're saying, I want management in my life.
Okay,
So
we are learning.
God, give me the hand, give me your hand. So God blesses you, He gives you money, He gives you a spouse, He gives you children, but you're never with them. You're not spending time with them. That is mismanaging. And what you mismanage, you will automatically lose. So that is and another thing that really I like in that book, the preface I wrote, whatever God calls for, He always provides for. During those days, I did not get that provision from my dad a lot, but then I had to switch fathers quickly and say, there's another Father called God the Father, who provides for all our needs. So, and I read, I knew you in Jeremiah 1 verse 4. I knew you before you were formed in your mother's womb. So God called me. So obviously he will provide for me. And that's why I could not allow any negative thought to come into my mind, like, you can't write a book. No, God called me, so he'll provide knowledge. You cannot be successful. God called me, and God is successful and is the one who gives success. So I wanted this father who understood me. So there's a lot in I've had to explain, but that is basically it. Yeah.
Wow.
A source of inspiration.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when do you expect it on the shelves so that you can purchase?
I'm hopeful by the end of this year
Okay.
I will launch the book,
Okay.
and I'm doing another one as we speak, but slowly writing it because the editors advised me not to proceed until I first have a copy of what they've done.
Okay.
So, but the book that is I'm writing right now is Becoming the Salt of the Earth. Right? Becoming the salt of the earth. And the lessons I've learned as I was growing is that healing is always available. You just need time.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you're sick, you have a headache, you just need time to heal. If you have a cut wound, you just need to give it time and it will heal. Yes.
Wow. Emmanuel, there's someone out there, a young person,
Yeah.
just like you. You know, people don't know you're very young. Ni mwili tu. You are very, very young.
Yes.
So there's a young person out there, maybe even in high school, primary school, who is going or underwent what you went through.
Yes.
And they don't even know what to do right now. You're not healed yet. You actually said that if you'd get a hold of a good therapist,
Sure.
you'd really, really appreciate.
Exactly.
So someone is going through what you went through.
Yes.
Please talk to that person.
If you're going through what I went through or even worse, this is my advice. One, the lessons I've learned is, number one, do not be in self-denial. Do not deny that you are in pain. Right now is when I'm looking for a counselor or a psychiatrist. Because one, I'm not in denial. I've accepted that I'm in pain, and I went through pain, and I still need a path. So that will be my advice. Begin from where you are and heal. And secondly, read your Bible. I remember it was very hard for me to read the Bible. But I came to discover that there is another Father. If your earthly father fails, you have your heavenly Father, who knows you more than your earthly father. So there's always someone to depend on. Do not depend on what you're feeling. Do not depend on what other people are saying. Just put your eyes fixed on God, and He will help you through. And as I just said, when you have a wound, just give it time. It will heal. Do not rush. Do not make hasty decisions. I remember I wanted to commit suicide. I locked myself in the room. Right? I wrote a note, told everybody, I'm leaving you, have a peaceful life. Right? When I went and took whatever I wanted to take to kill myself, today I believe that the Holy Spirit held my hand the way He held Abraham's hand, not to kill his son. And I dropped everything off and I said, let me open a Bible verse. And when I opened, luckily, and I don't intend to do that, but I came across with God, everything is possible. Wow, that changed my life. Yeah.
Amazing. You know, you are, I almost said Sunday school teacher, now I'm referring to your wife. Anyway,
Yeah.
You are a music teacher.
Yes.
You're a mentor.
Yes.
You're an author.
Yes.
And aside from that, we would like and love to get you a therapist. All right?
Yeah.
So, do you mind giving out your number? Maybe someone wants you to teach their kids, or someone wants to be your therapist.
Sure.
Just give them your number or your email. Whichever
Fantastic.
you choose is fine.
All right.
Yeah.
I will give you both. My mobile number is 0727 63 30 10. 0727 63 30 10. My email address is emmanuelnyarangi@gmail.com.
Amazing. Emmanuel, I'm so glad you've shared with me.
Yes.
You've been my friend, but I didn't actually know when
Yes.
in buyer. Friends always share. You didn't share with me until now. I'm
Yeah.
your big sister. Anyway,
Yeah,
I'm
sure.
so glad
Yeah.
for you coming to my set and you sharing, and actually you've become an inspiration to many, I know.
Yeah.
And on this show, I'm sure you came to inspire as well,
Yes.
because everything is possible.
True.
Everything is possible if only you put your heart to it. And
Yes.
just as you said, people should not confine themselves. And the first thing you're supposed to do is accept that these things are happening, or these things happen, and then you look for a way out, a way forward that is better than where the devil put you. All right. Thank you so much for being on this segment. And guys, that has been so motivational, so inspiring. I don't even want to add anything or remove anything. But anyway, if you are a very good therapist out there, Emmanuel needs you, or any other person out there who is going through a similar or even worse situation like his, what he went through. Maybe they're looking for a therapist, and you can do this. Please. His number is down there, and you can always contact me on emmachalo@gmail.com for more if you want to help someone out there. And until next time on our next segment, my name is Emily Charles.